I was in a horrible marriage. I finally got away from that jerk, and I found love later on. I got pregnant, was about to have the baby, and all of a sudden, during labor, my ex-mother-in-law, the mom from the nightmare relationship, she barges into the door and says that baby is her grandson.
Hello everyone, my name's Serena. I'm an artist, currently working as an art teacher at my local high school. I'm also pregnant in my second marriage. And this has brought up some people from my last marriage that I would like to keep in the past. My first husband, Ronnie, we were high school sweethearts. I thought he was my one and only, the man I would spend the rest of my life with. We had a sweet relationship through high school and a year into college. We would not do long distance and we broke up. It left me heartbroken, but soon I moved on from him. That's when I first met my husband, Aaron. He was 1 year my senior, and we were in the same clubs. Aaron made me forget all about Ronnie. With him, I could not even remember why I was hung up on him in the first place. Aaron was respectful and a gentleman. Well, you could just tell that a good mother raised him. Aaron and I went on dating for 3 years after that. But when his father's health deteriorated, he moved back with his parents. I'd only just begun my first job after graduating and could not just move in with him, and I wasn't ready to do a long-distance relationship again, so we broke up. This is when I experienced my first real heartbreak. The emotions I went through with Ronnie were nothing in compared to how I felt when Aaron and I went our separate ways. We separated on nice terms. We even sent each other a yearly happy birthday text, but nothing more in the upcoming years. However, I did run into Ronnie. We had recently moved to my city for work as well, and I had not meant to rekindle our romance, but it did happen. He'd really matured and was entirely a different person. I thought I would give him another shot. After all, he was my first ever love. And to be honest, I was looking for a relationship that would make me forget about Aaron entirely. Ronnie and I began dating, and it made me so nostalgic. Initially, we would go on dates, really cute ones like we used to when we were high schoolers, with not too much money in our pocket. We would watch movies on our weekends and eat tacos at the taco trucks like we used to. Then it became entirely too serious. We began going to each other's office parties as the other partner. I fell in love with Ronnie all over again, but a different version of Ronnie. This Ronnie was a big, strong guy who liked doing all the things you would imagine a jock in his 20s would do. I think it was just comfortable and familiar to me. So, when he proposed after just 2 years of dating, I said yes. His mother was kind of obsessive though, Dolly. She was obsessed with grandchildren. She joked about us getting pregnant all through the engagement. Well, it initially freaked me out. That's when Ronnie revealed that she had issues conceiving him. That's why she wanted me to have kids. She was scared that I would not be able to have kids in my 30s, but that did not stop me from feeling uncomfortable whenever she brought the topic up. But we just privately decided to take it slow. We weren't in a hurry to have children, but the moment we got married, Ronnie switched. He began pressuring me to have kids with him, and I wasn't just ready, and most importantly, I didn't want to give up my teaching career and raise a kid just yet. I did want to have children, eventually. That's when I told Ronnie I just could not imagine having kids just yet. Maybe in my mid-30s. I tried to reassure him that we could freeze my eggs if he was so concerned, but he wasn't reassured. Soon our marriage became a chore for me, and affection felt forced. I wasn't in constant fear of getting in a fight with Ronnie over, when we should have children. I was mad that he wasn't respecting my wishes, and we had discussed kids before marriage. And he had agreed to wait, but after marriage he just could not wait for some reason. At one point I realized I did not like Ronnie anymore as a person. He made living in the house unbearable, and I was happier when he wasn't around. And I definitely did not want to have kids with him anymore. I broke up our marriage after that realization, and being with him felt suffocating at the end. And when I realized the divorce was the answer, it felt like all the new avenues in my life just opened up. Ronnie was, of course, very angry in my wish for a divorce. He also did not understand that I felt trapped by his constant pressure to have children. We had a nasty divorce that went on for a year and 1 year of marriage and 1 year of divorce. I wasn't completely wrung out. Losing Ronnie felt very relieving, but also very mentally tiring. I was completely done. Well, losing Ronnie, it was just bad, and this divorce really messed up what I thought my life would look like. But I put my pent-up energy into my job, and I made loads of paintings that year, full of anger and frustration, and I wasn't hung up on Ronnie, but there were complicated feelings that I was dealing with. An old friend of mine really liked my work and asked if I would like to display it in a gallery. I jumped at the opportunity, as I'd always wanted to have my paintings displayed, and it was the perfect opportunity to make my lifelong dream come true. That's when I ran into my current husband, Aaron, again after about 7 years. He admitted that he's been some sort of promotional work on social media, and especially has come out to see my work. Well, I was flattered. He also told me that he knew about my divorce from my mother. I didn't know how to react to that, so I just ignored him a little tidbit. For the next week, I could not get him out of my mind. He was even more handsome than before, even more gentlemanly than before, and if that could even be possible, so I reached out to him once more. We began dating, and all the feelings I had for him began rushing back towards me. We had so much in common, and he was just so considerate. Initially, I was a bit cautious and scared that he would just take his word back at any point. But Aaron never did that. He was considerate towards me and my wants, and he just respected everything I wished for. He even reassured me when I felt insecure regarding my last marriage, so it was inevitable that we ended up getting married after 3 more years of dating. And he treated me right. I mean, being with Aaron was not a chore like it was with Ronnie. I could still breathe in a marriage with him and never pressured me into having children. He was even opposed to the idea of adoption if it made more comfortable for me. But I've frozen my eggs when I was in a marriage with Ronnie, so I wasn't too scared. But I liked knowing that Aaron would be understanding just in case. And after 4 years of marriage, I got pregnant using one of those frozen eggs. We could not be happier. His mother, Sybil, who had moved closer to us when we got married, was over the moon as well. She and we get along great. She's a cop, and I have so much respect for the hard work that she puts into keeping the community safe. Cops may have a bad rep, but she is one of the good ones who take their job very seriously. However, Sybil was not the only mother-in-law who found out about my pregnancy. My ex-mother-in-law, Dolly, also found out about it. Dolly has recently been hounding me about the identity of my kids. Well, the father of him. She has ambushed me at the house, and I've often seen her car parked just outside my home. She also showed up at my school while I was 7 months pregnant just to create a scene, asking who the father of my kids were. She claims this baby I'm carrying is actually Ronnie's, and that she wants to be able to meet her grandchildren anytime she wants. I didn't know why she thought this was because I had not met Ronnie in almost 5 years. The last time we met was because I needed to sign something, and we had met a neutral location just to get over it. I tried to reassure Dolly that I had not seen her son in ages and that I am a married woman, and she could not just throw these accusations into thin air, especially not at my place of work. She claimed that I've frozen my baby with Ronnie when I was married to him, and now I'm having his baby. I tried to explain the process to her, but she was almost obsessed with me and my baby and was not ready to hear me out. I genuinely feel unsafe with her around in the world, and Aaron wants me to take an early maternity leave and stay at home, away from the crazy ex-mother-in-law scene. But I think he's being unreasonable, and I don't want to be confined in my house for the next few months. I want to finish my semester, paint with my students until they're gone for the summer break. I mean, what should I do? Dolly has not physically put me in danger, and I can't even report her. But I have to be extra diligent these days. I have to check the cameras outside my door before I leave my house every single time, and I've asked the watchman at my house school to not let her onto the premises. What else can I do? She truly sounds crazy when she talks. I've been trying to get in contact with Ronnie too, to discuss his mother's behavior, but I have not been able to get a hold of him. Anyways, I'll update you guys soon enough. Top comments from the first post. Comment number 1 from Lizzie_76 chimes in and says, "Your ex-mother-in-law sounds crazy. You should maybe get a restraining order against her, yeah? Definitely keep trying to get in touch with her son so that he can get rid of her for you. She not only sounds uneducated, but she also is hell-bent on getting your baby. I don't think she's over the divorce of her son and you. Ronnie needs to get her and maybe get her checked to see if she's mentally stable. You know, if she's breaking into places of work just to ambush you. It doesn't seem like she's going to stop. If you get a restraining order, you can get the police if she comes near you. Even if she doesn't physically assault you. Either way, I hope you stay safe. I hope nothing more happens, but think about a restraining order just in case." Comment number 2 from Lori. "Dolly sounds a bit unhinged and obsessed with you and the thought of having grandchildren. I don't think she's right in the head. Keep trying to contact Ronnie. He needs to keep his mother in line, and your husband is definitely correct. You should listen to Aaron and take the maternity leave a bit early. It's better to be cautious than sorry. You can always go out with Aaron on the weekends. I'm sure he's thinking, what's in your best interest? I understand why you're against the idea, but hey, you need to think what's best for the family right now. Instead of what you want. You're scared to leave the house without checking the cameras? Listen to your hubby. He's recommending you to stay at home and stay safe. He's not the one being unresponsible. You are." Update number 1. Please subscribe to the channel. Hello everyone, it's Serena again. 2 weeks ago, I told you that my ex-mother-in-law is practically stalking me because she thinks that I'm pregnant with my ex-husband's baby. She's gone one step further today, and I'm here to tell you about it. I can't believe what she tried to do. It is the weekend, so me and Aaron spent it catching up on errands. Because Aaron was with me, I wasn't too concerned and did not check if my mother-in-law was outside the house before I left. With Aaron just behind me, I did not think that she would show up today with my hubby with me because she hasn't done that in the past few months and she's been stalking me, so we went to the supermarket to get some stuff for the house. I was separated from him for a bit when I thought I saw my ex-mother-in-law, Dolly, just ducking around the next aisle. I felt a spike of fear, but I went around to check, just in case. You know what? There were loads of people around me, and I did not feel particularly threatened. I did not locate Dolly anywhere and thought that my paranoia was getting the best of me. However, on my way back, I was hypervigilant and spied Dolly's car following us. I told Aaron about it, and he grew concerned. We both knew that I was safe as long as he was with me, but we were growing tired of the constant harassment. When we got to the house, Aaron immediately helped me get out of my seat to get me inside before Dolly caught up to us, just in case. But I'm more than 8 months pregnant. Getting out of a vehicle is hard, you know? She easily caught up to us, and I was horrified when Dolly approached us while Aaron was there. By the looks of it, she was there for Aaron and not her imaginary grandchild. Aaron still stood between us, holding my hand behind his, and Dolly told Aaron that I'm lying to him. She told him that I was not actually carrying his kid, but it's Ronnie's. Well, Dolly grabbed Aaron's hand like it was going to be a crushing revelation to him, like, oh, you poor thing. Dolly told him that I was having Ronnie's baby instead of his, and that she just wanted to be a part of the baby's life because she was the grandmother. She genuinely sounded a bit unhinged, and I was honestly concerned. Aaron tried explaining that the child was his and that she was just confused. But Dolly had grown agitated by this point. She screamed that he could get the baby DNA tested and then threatened me that when Aaron throws me out for lying to him, she'll snatch away Ronnie's kid and make me regret lying to everybody like this. Aaron had realized the talking nice game to her was not going to work. He told her that he would get a restraining order against her if she ever tried this little ambush tactic again. Dolly grew silent. My husband told her that for the last time, I was carrying our baby, not Ronnie's, and the answer, well, she's misunderstood. But he also made it crystal clear that if she ever shows up again, we would take legal action against her, constantly harassing us, and then he took me inside, leaving Dolly right there on the driveway in tears. I think she genuinely thinks that I'm pregnant with her grandbaby. I'm thinking that maybe I should just show up at Ronnie's house to talk to him. Aaron thinks that he should be the one to do it. I don't know. He'll probably need to discuss this further with me. Update number 2. Subscribe to the channel. Hey everyone, this is Serena on this side. I went into delivery a week before the due date. It's been a few days since I gave birth to my daughter, and now that I'm home, I thought I would catch up on some drama that happened on the day of my delivery. I was in the delivery room waiting for the baby to arrive when I heard some commotion coming from the waiting area outside. I had to send my husband Aaron to check what was going on. But when he did not immediately come back, I grew concerned and asked the nurse to get somebody to tell me something. A few seconds must have passed when the room's door opened. To my utter shock, Dolly, my ex-mother-in-law, walked in with Aaron behind her. She straight up approached me, striking fear in my chest because I was in such a vulnerable condition. She grabbed my hand and inquired about a contraction. I was done with her unhinged actions. I no longer cared that maybe she needs mental health and maybe I should be nicer to her. She had just barged into the hospital room while I was in so much pain. Aaron grabbed her, pulled her away from me, and stood between us. By this time, a few nurses had also arrived on the scene. Aaron told them to take her away and that she's interrupting our private moment. But Dolly screamed that she just wants to be there for the birth of her grandbaby. I screamed, half in anger and half in pain, that she was not the grandmother. I had not seen Ronnie for 5 years, and that's when my mother-in-law, Sybil, walked in. She's a cop, and I immediately felt at ease, and she was not on duty, but I was sure that she would know how to deal with the situation better than us. Dolly inquired who she was, and when Sybil said that she was going to be the grandma-to-be, it set Dolly off. Dolly screamed at her that she was in fact not the grandma-to-be. She claimed that I was lying and manipulating the whole world, and it was Ronnie whose kid I was delivering. Aaron told his mother that Dolly was the one stalking us for the past few months, and Sybil told Dolly to leave the premises as she got her badge out to prove her credentials. But Dolly was not intimidated by that badge. Dolly called Sybil a thief, claiming that everybody was stealing her grandchild from her. When Sybil noticed that, I was in tears and Aaron was there trying to calm me down and that the whole hospital was peeking inside her room to witness the drama, she physically tried to remove her. When Dolly resisted, Sybil grew angrier than I've ever seen her and she slapped Dolly across the face, leaving the room in utter silence, and then she asked for the nurses to get security. Before the security arrived, Dolly screamed at Sybil, threatening to sue her for assault, and I was genuinely scared that Sybil might lose her badge for this, but Dolly thankfully has not gone to the police yet. It's been some time since this happened, but this really stressed me out in an already stressed out situation. Well, Sybil was very apologetic about how she reacted after I've given birth. She's a very nice woman, and I told her that she did what I would have done if I were in her place, and that I was not mad at her. Sybil's helping me get a restraining order against Dolly, and I could not be more thankful. Update number 3. Please subscribe. Hey guys, it's Serena again on this side. You won't believe what Dolly tried to do yesterday, and I'm in much shock myself. We brought my daughter home about 2 months ago. I have a restraining order against Dolly now. I had thought that would mean no more having to deal with Dolly, but she's even more unhinged than before. We had finally gotten in contact with Ronnie a month ago, and I had to get this current number from a cousin as I knew. However, he claimed that he had no contact with his mom. He claimed that he wasn't in the country and refused to help us when we asked him to talk to his mother to stay away from us. Either way, we felt much more secure with the restraining order, and most importantly, I was on maternity leave, healing from the birth, and I felt safe because I was home with the baby, and so did my husband, as he had taken paternity leave as well. Our life had grown very simplistic after we had gotten a restraining order against Dolly. I usually looked after the baby, and Aaron took care of all the errands around the house. Sybil visited every evening just to ask if we needed help or to see how we were doing as new parents. Then Aaron would spend hours trying to put the baby to bed while I would flop on the bed and fall asleep from tired. That was until yesterday night. Aaron had put our daughter to bed, and it's taken him some hours to make that happen. I was already asleep by then, but Aaron was wide awake, scrolling on his phone when he got an alert about the motion sensor going off in the front of the house. Initially, he thought that it was an animal or neighbor's cat, often drops by, but when the sensor kept detecting a presence, he grew a bit suspicious. All the lights in the house were off, and he peeked outside and was shocked to find someone trying to climb the pipe to get to the first floor. He immediately woke me up and told me to call the cops while he quietly went to the nursery to retrieve our daughter. Fortunately, she did not get disturbed from her sleep. When we heard a loud thud and a scream, we were actually frightened, and we saw the outline of a person just outside our house that had fallen out of the concrete onto the ground. Aaron brought a safety weapon that he had from downstairs to see who it was. To his surprise, he found Dolly moaning in pain outside the house. Thankfully, the cops arrived, and apparently Dolly was trespassing into our house to kidnap her grandbaby while we were asleep. She confessed immediately after getting into police custody, and she was scared, and she had also broken both an arm and a leg. Can you believe this woman? She tried to kidnap my daughter. She thought she could kidnap my kid and get away with it. Of course I contacted her son, but Ronnie still refused to do anything about his mom. Aaron and I are, of course, going to file a case against her. But can you believe the audacity of this woman? She's completely delusional. Update number 4. Final update. Please subscribe to the channel. Hello guys, this is Serena here again. It's been 4 months since my last update. I thought I would update you guys on what's happened in the meantime. After my ex-mother-in-law Dolly tried to kidnap my daughter from my own house, and poorly failed, even though we had a restraining order against her, we decided to file a court case against her. Well, she was arrested and her mental stability was evaluated. However, she was still found guilty as she knew exactly what she was doing and that it was very illegal. She was sent to a psychiatric unit as punishment and received specialized care and treatment. I do feel pity for the woman, but I also feel so much anger every time I saw her in court. She's absolutely crazy, but finding out that even her son abandoned her does make me pity her. Ronnie did not show up for his mother even once, and I don't even think he tried to get in contact with the poor woman. I don't know what happened between them after we divorced. They were never super close, but they were close enough, you know? Regardless, our family is doing great. My daughter is growing up so quickly. It feels like she's already having her favorite color, and she loves going on walks with us, and she's showing so many sides of her personality even though she's just 6 months old. I never knew babies were so expressive until I had my own. We're doing much better as a family unit now. Dolly did not sue Sybil, fortunately. Sybil's actually thinking about retiring now that she's, nearing her 60s. She also wishes to babysit her granddaughter when I get back to teaching in a few months when the semester starts. Overall, we're doing much better. Dolly had brought a lot of unnecessary drama into our lives, and now we've gotten rid of her. Well, thank you for listening to me talk. Initially, I was very scared for my safety, and I guess I did have a reason for it. Top comments from the final post. Comment number 1 from Yanni_576 says, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that with your ex-mother-in-law. Dolly sounds like a woman who needs a lot of professional help. It's unfortunate that she's getting that help in such a way, but honestly, it's mostly Ronnie's fault for not taking care of his own mom. I can't imagine what must have happened between them for him to just cut contact. If he had tried to contact his mother and clarify things with her, maybe she would not have tried to kidnap a child. He just sounds selfish and stubborn, not caring about what others want at all. No wonder you left him all those years ago, OP. I'm glad, though, that your daughter can grow up without any drama from Dolly. I'm happy to hear that you're doing well as well. Anyways, sending wishes. Comment number 2 from Wani26. I feel horrible for Dolly. You should not have filed a case against her. I understand she tried to kidnap your daughter, but come on. Clearly she would have failed even if she had climbed the house. She doesn't sound like a good thief. She's unstable. She needs help, not punishment. You should have tried getting help for her instead of trying to put her behind bars. Maybe once she had started getting help, she would have realized that she was being delusional when she claimed that you were having her grandbaby. And of course, the fault lies on Ronnie as well. What sort of son just leaves other people to deal with their unstable mom? He should have taken accountability for her, but he did nothing. Truly, a horrible man.